Hello and welcome back to the Alteryx Weekly Challenge. Me and Bignell. This is challenge number 135 and it's the locker problem. Okay, so this is where we have 1,000 lockers in a high school and 1,000 students, and the problem begins with the first student opening all 1,000 lockers. Second student then closes lockers 2, 4, 8, 6, 10. So lockers divisible by the student number as a whole number, and the third student then states opens lockers closed and close lockers open on lockers 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. So, and then obviously, so basically we're looking at what would happen when all 1,000 students have finished going through and which doors were actually open. Okay, so I think there's a couple of ways you could do this. I think one way is using an iterative macro where you go through each of the students, and that takes the previous one and does it. But I think you could do it quite simply, just using a normal data prep processes as well. So in preparation, we can generate a file here, for example, and we'll call it lockers, and we'll start at 1, and we'll put in lockers here. And we'll go up to 1,000, and that will generate our +1 down here. This will generate the actual rows for the 1,000 lockers that we need to. So we just run that. We'll see that we've now got 1,000 records, 1, 2, 3, all the way through to 1,000. Okay, so if we copy that, paste, and then we have students. We basically do the same thing with our students. Just call it, student, and then copy that, and then bring it down here. That gives us students as well. Okay, so we start with the lockers closed. So it doesn't really matter which one we add it to. I think we'll add it to this one, and we'll have position. I think that's what it is. That what it's called in here? Yeah. So we've got lockers, position, student are the fields that we want to get at. So position, if I could spell it. Okay, and then what we want to do there is start with closed. Okay, let's make this a smaller string so we're not dealing with so much. Okay, now we want to bring these two together. So that will give us 1,000 times 1,000 if we append them together. So if we run that, that will give us all the combinations. Oh, I forgot to change this record. It's important to allow all records to append, and that will then give us 1,000,000 rows, and it will start like this. So we then have lockers and student in that order, which is the order we want, I think, because we want to change the position by each student as it goes through, depending on if that's divisible by that. So first of all, we want to work out, is that divisible by that as a whole number? So or rather the number of lockers divisible by the number of students. So if we bring in a formula tool, we can simply work out if it is or not. So we want a new column, and what do we call it? I don't know. We call it integer. And we will basically do lockers divided by student, and we want to make that a double. And we want to make it double so that we actually see the decimal place. So if we run this, what we'll get here is, you see the first one is an integer, but the next are decimals. So what we want to do now is to look for a decimal in there, but we can do that by changing this to, so if we change integer, we can't change it, we have to add another one. So was it decimal? If we want to then say basically to string, now that would convert our field integer to a string. Now we don't need this in here. We just remove that, and we want to make it a bit smaller because we don't need all of that. Okay, that'll do. Okay, now we have this decimal in here. All we then need to do is write a formula to say whether it's going to change or not. It's only going to change if there's no decimal in there. So let's write a little formula, and we can let's just call it change, and then we can do if statement. So if, let's just use this if conditional if. So if decimal contains, so we're going to do contains decimal, and the target is a decimal. Okay, then we want to say no, because we don't want to change it if there's a decimal in it, but if there is, we want to say yes if there is. Okay, so that can be a small field as well. Let's run that. Okay, so now we have whether it should change or not. Okay, based on the previous position from the previous student. Okay, so let's now bring in a multi-row formula, and we can do that simply. So we want to change position, and we want to group by the lockers, and we basically want to put in a conditional, but we want to do a else if conditional. So let's just give us ourselves some space. Okay, so in here, if this is a couple of conditions we want. So if, make sure we got the data so we can see it, right? So if change equals y and position equals, or position plus on the row above equals closed, then we want to open it. If it's, yeah. So if change, let's just use the variables actually. So if change on our row, so we'll just do change equals y, and the row above position equals closed, then we want to do open. And if, let's just copy that, we can then put that in here. So if change equals yes and position equals open, which is the other way round, we want to close it. Closed. Else, we just take the position from above. Okay, so that should then give us, yeah, so a no, so it's gone wrong there. What we needed to change is this set to values closest on the valid row. Right, okay, so that's only going to affect the first one of each one, so each grouping. There we go, that's better. So we open all of them. Yes, it's opened it initially, and then I think that's right. And then on the second one we've got open, and then it's closed, and I guess it remains closed because then you've got 3 and 4. So I think that is right. Okay, so now we want to just work out what the last, so we want to filter on the last 1000. So if we take student 1000, okay, that will just give us 1,000 ones, and then I think we just want to filter on the open ones. So the position equals open, right? And then I think we just want to just get rid of all the fields we don't actually need. So we only need these 3, you don't need these. And then we can join that on our results. Let's see what we get. Join on lockers, join on position, join on student. Now let's hope we go to browse on each one. We should. Yeah, there you go. So we got 31 matches. So we've got matches on all 3 records and fields, and none on the left and none on the right. So there you go. We've got it matched. Nicely done. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next time.